How many people are in? How many people are in the pro?
104 that I can see now.
Okay.
Guys, we're live. Everything that you say that can be heard. Hello, everyone. We see that quite a few of you have already joined us. We will be starting exactly 1 minute. While we wait over here, um, some of you can see possibly a QR code in front of you. If you can use your mobile device to scan it, and you can go and add your questions, etc., to the Menti. Otherwise, if you like, you can go to menti.com and add the code 36809727. If you add this if you add this code, then you can go to the same page and add your questions for us. Um, and we should begin soon. Hello and welcome everyone. Welcome back to the first IRQB monthly webinar. We're very excited to have all of you back with us again, and I see that a lot more people are joining. It's only been 1 minute since we were supposed to start, so I'm assuming people will keep coming in. As you can see in front of you, there's a QR code. You can go to menti.com and scan it. We will keep bringing this QR code back at different times during the presentations as well, simply so that you can have you can continue to ask questions, etc. Like again, you can scan the QR code from your mobile devices, or you can go to menti.com and type in the code 36809727 to ask us any question that you like. We will try and address all of these questions by the end of the webinar, or perhaps in the next webinars that come. Either way, it should work. All right, so we can begin now. We are not late at all. This is great. Our first speaker is Anish Bawa. Um, so yeah, just gonna share.
One off mute. No, I can't. You did not share your desktop. Thank you very much, everyone. Personally, I cannot believe it. We have almost 300 people that are currently attending, and we only expect these numbers to go up. So as Tanvi, my colleague, just introduced, we are absolutely very happy to go to the next slide and to, of course, introduce you the latest and greatest new quality monthlies webinars by the IRIS Rail Quality Board. Indeed, as my colleague said, it's the first quality monthly of the year. And informally, I'm also very happy to tell you that this will be the first of 9 events that we will give you in 2024. In the next hour until 3 p.m. CET, we, with very experienced speakers, will give you key information on the IRIS certification revision 4 system. So there are several topics on the agenda for which will now be presented by multiple experts. So I'm very glad to give the floor to my colleague, Maria.
Hello, good afternoon, and good evening, maybe, to some of you. My name is Maria Romero, IRIS Manager within UNIFE. And in this presentation, what I would like is to give all IRIS certification stakeholders a highlights on the implementation and transition phase to IRIS Revision 4. So very important for already IRIS certified companies in Revision 3. Can you please go to the next slide, Tammy? Yes. So first of all, I think it's good that we all see together the IRIS certification implementation timeline. So you see on the left, we have what is still remaining of revision 3, and then on the right, we will have the start of revision 4. So revision 4 is starting on the 1st of April, a very important date for all of us because certification audits, recertification audits in revision 4 and transition audits will be possible from the 1st of April onwards. It means that then we will be able to start the surveillance audits, not transition anymore, but surveillance audits in revision 4 from the end of September onwards. So in terms of revision 4, the certification audits have been finished at the end of 2023, but there is still some reports that have been uploaded because there were cars and the closure of cars is permitted until the start of revision 4, until the 1st of April. We will have still some surveillance audits ongoing and in revision 3 until the end of September 2024, so when the next surveillance in revision 4 will start, and regarding the recertification, they will be possible until the 1st of April, and then you still get 3 months in order to close the potential cards and upload the report. You see a little bit down that regarding the auditor upgrade training, which is very important for us because we are training all the stakeholders and more importantly our auditors, we have started at the end of November last year, and we are continuing during the whole Q1 2024. So all our auditor pool is well prepared to start the revision 4 audits. Can you go to the next slide, please, Tammy? Yes. So here we would like to show you also what are the different possibilities for companies that are already certified in revision 4. You can go for a recertification audit in revision 4, or you can go for a transition audit during a surveillance audit. In the first case, which is the more suitable way to shift to revision 4, and you have a lot of companies that are now closing the cycle and can go for a recertification, you will be able to start this recertification audits from the 1st of April, as said, and for sure all these recertification audits need to fulfill all the criteria written in the IRIS Certification Performance Assessment 2023 rules and ISO 22163. Every time we will have a recertification audit in revision 4 or a transition audit, we will need to have a mandatory readiness review in order to see if we fulfill all the criteria. Afterwards, in the next slide or the next one, we are also going to see, go back, please, that there is a specific table of transition audit days that is not the ones that you can find in the IRIS conformity assessment or in the IRIS performance assessment. It's a special table for transition audit days, only for companies going from revision 3 to revision 4. In this case, the reference date of the organization is going to be maintained and a new full revision 4 certificate is established. So for the whole cycle for the whole 3 years. The second possibility or second option to get IRIS Revision 4 when you are already an IRIS Revision 3 certified company is to do a transition audit during a surveillance audit. It doesn't matter if it's surveillance 1 or if it's surveillance 2. For sure, again, you need to fulfill all the criteria in IRIS Certification of Performance 2023 rules and ISO 22163. A readiness review is mandatory, and you will also need to use the table of transition audits that we will show afterwards. The readiness review, the reference date, sorry, of the organization is maintained again, but the certificate is timely reduced until the next recertification audit, where we will be able to have a full certificate in revision 4 for a full cycle. Thank you. Can you go to the next slide, please? Yes. And here, this is the table I was talking about. So we have implemented a new table considering the implementation phase only recertification audits in revision 4 and transition audits, so during surveillance. And what is important in this table is that you all understand that we include inside of the table the readiness review, the data review, the performing audit time, and also the reporting time. So everything is included here, and we will show you in the next slide, please, how this can be calculated with some examples so it's clear for everyone. So in the option 1, for example, where the company is going to be to do a recertification in revision 4, we have taken an example of a company with 50 people in the rail sector with reference date of revision 3 on the 20th of November 2021, then that has performed in August 2022, the first surveillance in August 2023, the second surveillance, and that will perform the recertification audit in August 2024. So it's already in the time where you can do it. So in this case, you will need to go to the table and you will see that the implementation time, the recertification audit mandates in total will be 6.5 days. 0.5 days will be dedicated to readiness review, because now in revision 4, when companies have less than 85 employees, there is a 0.5 days for readiness review. When there is more than 86 employees, it's 1 day. Then data review is always 0.5 days, no matter how big is the company, how many employees do they have in the rail sector. Then the reporting in the case of a recertification or a certification audit is 1 day, and the rest of the time you see here 4.5 days is for audit time. In the next example, in option 2, we are talking about a company that will do the transition audit to revision 4 during a surveillance audit. So an ideal example, well, we have the staff headcount in rail is 100 employees. The reference date is 10 of October 2020. Then they did surveillance audit 1, surveillance audit 2, and then recertification in 2023. And they will have their transition audit during a surveillance audit 1 in July 2024. Here, if you go to the transition table, all this information is also published in the portal in a short guideline that we did. You will see that they will need to perform 6 days. 1 day of readiness review, 0.0 days of data review, 4 days performing an audit, and 0.5 days, because it's a surveillance audit, reporting time of the audit. Please, next slide. Okay. And this is also something that is important, because these are decisions that have been taken not so long ago. You know that our preference for sure is to have the more companies possible that will go to revision 4 as soon as possible, and as far as they fulfill all the requirements given, because it's very difficult to have a system running with 2 revisions, and it's also very good for all of us to already go to revision 4. Anyways, revision 3 will be stopped in September 2024. So for companies, we have given some flexibility, because you see that the revision 4 audits will start on the 1st of April. For companies that have the reference date between 1st of April 2024 and 30 of June 2024. That will, in the end, between April and June. And for companies that planned their audit between January and March 2024, we will allow some flexibilities and they can postpone their audits a little bit in order to do the recertification, preferably, or surveillance audit in transition mode after the 1st of April. You will see here the focus for us is the recertification audits because this is the best way to go for revision 4. We will allow a maximum of 3 months shift. So it means that if you had your audit scheduled in February, you will be able to do it 3 months after, so in May. The ideal is that we don't need to change the reference date, but in case that it's something that has a reason why we will do. And we will provide to all the companies that will postpone under these conditions, very specific conditions, not to all companies that will postpone their audits, 2 months to close the potential cars. Like this, we allow a certain flexibility for companies that are really willing to go for revision 4 and that will like to do it, postponing a little bit their audits so they have time to prepare, and in some cases they have time to start after the 1st of April. As said, the reference date will be shifted only if justified, and this may be more interesting for the CVs. We have been treating this information through a global waiver so we can make the modifications in the portal and working in a very preventive way so everything is fixed so we can start on the 1st of April successfully. And that's all from my side. Thank you very much. I believe I give the floor to Anish Bawa, IRIS Technical Manager.
Thank you very much, Maria. Just a few things before I go into details in my part. We've even increased more participants, so that's very good news. And, you know, I must admit, I've had a sneak peek of the Q&A, and I can already tell you that we will be recording this webinar, and you will be able to go back onto the IRQB YouTube to go and rewatch this webinar. Before I go into the next slide, I would like to talk about what I will go over today, because it's very important. I will talk about the company master data. In the company master data, where you companies shall insert the certification activities, I will explain the elements related to the business categories. I will tell you how to specify in the company master data where you can choose or not, depending on the criteria, the simplified audit approach. And then, of course, I will go into the details about the project management specificities. And last but not least, I will also go into details on how we implemented a new feature for you in the IRIS portal called the IRIS Portal Diary, where you will be able to see all your validated appointments and therefore upload your respective data packages. So on the next slide, you will see that earlier this week, on Monday, the 5th of February this year, we're very glad to announce that we have launched the IRIS portal in revision 4. This means from this launch, the first time that you log in, at least one person from the company will therefore have to accept the new terms and conditions. Once done, companies can then navigate to the company master data to therefore fulfill and review and add input based on their audit specificities. What I can already confirm to you today is that if you currently have an audit in revision 4 that is currently planned for April, right at the beginning of the revision 4, we will give you a bit of flexibility regarding the 60-day rule regarding the upload of data package. But this is given that the lead auditor is able to do his or her respective job. So on the next page, you will see now how to find this company master data. To find the company master data, you have to log into the portal, as I said, log in with your username and password. And if you have not already accepted the new terms and conditions, you shall accept them. If you have accepted them, Then you will be able to go to the navigation company account that you see on the right-hand side of this slide. You shall then click Administration followed by Company Master Data. So now you know how to find the company master data. Let's see theoretically what you have to do. So let's go to the next slide. So there's two things you really have to do. You have to review the current data that is previously on the company master data, and then you have to provide new input based on the revision 4 specificities. So the key areas to review the current information are the number of employees. Why? Because we do not have anymore the audit day calculator as a Excel file that you may remember from revision 3 and before. Now the company master data is the sole source of the minimum audit day calculation. You shall also review and update, if necessary, the respective supporting functions that are linked to your site. And last but not least, your contact information. That is very important for obvious reasons. Now, moving on to the important and new things, you have to provide new input based on the audit assessment type and your respective project management specificities. So let's start with the assessment type. As you've read in the Performance Assessment 2023, in our new rules, you will see that there are two types of assessments: a full or a simplified type of audit can be commenced based on the input you provide, and I will show you later. And yes, absolutely everyone, each company has to fulfill this information based on the respective eligibility. The IRIS portal company master data will automatically show if your company is eligible for full or simplified scope of an IRIS audit. On top of that, you shall also specify and save which project management your site is focused on. Is it A, engineer to order, B, make to order, C, make to stock? I will go into the rules a bit deeper in the next slides, but firstly, I would just want you to say you can only pick one selection at a time. Last but not least, on this slide, I would like to say that this information shall be validated, reviewed, and confirmed by the organization at least 90 days before the start date of the audit. And of course, it's also the certification body's responsibility to check this in the data review, for example, and before as they are planning the audit. On the next slide, you will see in a demonstration perspective exactly how it works. So on the top of the screen, you see the certification activities in the rail business. If you are already a previously certified organization, for example, in revision 3, then you will automatically see the equivalent revision 4 certification activities. Please bear in mind that this section, and I repeat, the section certification activities, after you are certified at least once, cannot be edited by yourself. So if you wish to update these information, please contact and send an email to our generic mailbox info@iris-rail.org. Now moving on to the business categories. This, for example, can be made by the organization and can be confirmed and changed at every audit. And on the bottom of the slide, you will see the specificities regarding the project management setup. So again, this can be selected before each audit. As I said, and I repeat because it's important, there are only 3 choices to select here. You can only select one, and please select the most applicable case. What does that mean? That means if you have, for example, engineer to order A, and you sometimes do make to order, then you have to always take the upper value. On the next slide, On the next slide, you will see that where you have to put the information regarding the simplified approach and the assessment methodology. So, as I said before, and I repeat because it's very important, each organization, independent on what type of audit you're going to do, independent on what type of size your organization and site is, always has to fill in information on the total staff headcount and the total turnover. So for each drop down, you will have 4 options, and depending on your respective selections, the eligibility for full or simplified is given. So for example, on the bottom of this page, you see I've selected for total staff headcount less or equal to 45. And for total turnover, I selected less or equal to 10 million. You will see in this case, there's both the full and simplified approach available. Why are the 2 assessments available? Because even if you are eligible for a simplified assessment, you still have the opportunity and possibility to do a full assessment and get more benefits, for example, the quality performance level. As you know, the simplified assessment does not give you any quality performance level statement whatsoever. So now let's go into the applicability for the simplified approach on the next slide. As I said, depending on the selections you make in both the total staff headcount and the total turnover, you may or may not have eligibility to undergo your audit in your most preferred assessment type. For example, if you are, in fact, a site having a total staff headcount of less than 10 people, let's say 5 people, but have a turnover of 100 million, then you can only do the full IRIS assessment. In the same, like the project management, you shall always take the upper value, the highest upper value. So I repeat in another example, if you have, for example, more than 86 staff or a turnover of greater than 26 million, then of course you are not eligible for the simplified approach. And then of course, if you're not eligible, you will not get the ability to select full or simplified. So yet again, the company master data controls this rule. One last important thing about the simplified approach, please be aware, one company can only adapt between the 2 assessment types during a recertification audit. So just to repeat, one company can only go from a simplified assessment to a full assessment, or a full assessment to a simplified assessment, only during a recertification audit. Independent what you click in the master data, the IRIS portal diary will only apply the change in the recertification audit. Before I go into the next slide, just before, I would like to tell you why the company master data is so important. As I said before, it impacts the complete certification process and the visuality during the audit that your auditors are going to audit your organizations on. So depending if your assessment is full or simplified micro, or simplified large, and so on, the IRIS Audit Tool web application will automatically fetch this information from the portal, from the company master data that you validate, and apply the visual changes in the audit tool. On my next slide, I would like to explain to you another important update that we have put since Monday, the 5th of February this week, is the ability to provide you a diary. So the company diary is now a new feature that allows organizations to view all audits that are linked to that specific site and that specific certification body. So rest assured, you will only see your audits that are connected to you and your certification body. The diary that I will show you a bit later includes a subset of information that will be read-only for you, that will give you, for example, information on which auditors are going to be auditing you, what the dates of the audit are, when the audit plan was sent, which certification body it is, and so on and so forth. And to navigate to the Iris portal diary, you have to first log on to the Iris portal with your username and password, and then navigate, like I've shown you on the right-hand side, navigate to the administration area, and then select diary. On the next slide, you will see what happens when you select diary. But just before that, I would like to give you just a little bit more theoretical elements. So now the data package is mandatorily managed via the Iris portal. So as you've seen in the Performity Assessment 2023, the Iris data package shall be facilitated via the Iris portal diary. So it's absolutely mandatory and quintessential that you use the Iris portal diary to upload and to provide the auditors with your data package. If you do not do this, then you will have there will be definitely a clear impact on the quality performance level that you have been assigned to. So now you will be able to do this upload of information via your diary. Then I will show you later how to do it step by step. This will give you the ability to upload all requested documents, and rest assured that the Iris Portal Diary data package area is on another server that is safe, secure, according to the latest information security norms, such as the ISO 27001. And of course, just to specify, only the lead auditor and certification body can have a view on the uploaded files that you have provided. No one else will have access to this information. What does this mean? It means harmonization. It means simplification. Why? Because now we no longer have the confirmation statement, which means one less file for each party, i.e. organization and auditor, have to fill in, sign, send, and upload, which is, in our opinion, very good. The dates regarding the upload of data package will now no longer be manually inserted. Now they will be automatically fetched by the system. So there is no more any manipulation or discussions about when the organizations have uploaded the data package, because the system, once the data package has been completed, will take that date and automatically provide it into the audit tool. Rest assured, when either a successful audit has been uploaded or a certain amount of time after a failed audit, once that is commenced, the complete data package will be removed and no longer seen or viewed by absolutely anyone. And once it's deleted, there's no longer the chance for your auditors to update, correct, or fix any audit reports or audit files. So now let's cut to the chase and go directly into the next slide, where you will see how to proactively do it. So once you click company diary, as I explained to you, under first logging into the Iris portal and then going into the administration and clicking diary, you will then be able to see your diary. What you will do, and you will see on the right-hand side of this slide, you will see one line for each audit, and for each audit you will be able to select under data package, and you see I've highlighted it here in green, an area for you to upload your data package. So now let's click this link and go to the next slide. Once you click the link, you will see another page, And basically, this will be a dedicated area for the organization to upload the specific and mandatory documents that are linked to the data package. So, of course, the data package file that is linked to the direct customer feedback, of course, is not mandatory. And another thing I want to specify is that we are also asking to include the new template that will be deployed soon, which is the changes related to the RQMS, which is the old Appendix 9. And we will require this document to be uploaded in number 4, which is the list of the organization's processes and interactions. So in this file, you have to also upload the RQMS change and impact template. So in the next slide, you will see what happens when you upload it. So each time you upload a specific file, you will see under the title at the top, Upload Data Package, you will see a prompt saying that the file has been uploaded. So what you have to do for each file, for each type of document, you have to upload in a singular approach. So that means, quite frankly, you can't upload in a one-shot operation all the 10 files in the first section. You have to upload a specific and dedicated file for each part of the data package. So the data package is distinguished in 2 parts, the overall audit information and information related to the customer perception related documents. Another thing to note is that you can only upload PDFs. So if you have multiple files for the same topic, please convert and merge the PDF before you initiate the upload. In case you upload a file and you realize that it's the wrong one, in order to resolve that, it's very easy. You just re-upload the same area but a different file, and it will automatically delete and erase the previous file you have entered. On the right hand side, you will see with the color filled in green, you will see we also display the name of the file, which will further help your organizations remember that you have uploaded that specific file for this specific field. So it will help you match the name of the file to the respective area. On the bottom of the page, you will see navigation toggles, and I'm not going to go over the buttons close and back to diary because that's pretty self-standing. But once you fill all the mandatory elements in the data package and you click save, this will take into consideration then the fulfillment and completion of the data package, and this will then inform the respective lead auditor and certification body. That's it from my side. Please, during the rest of the webinar, feel free to provide as many questions as you want for all of our parts. We will have a dedicated time later for a question and answer session. So please, without further ado, I will introduce you to my colleague, Anna Manuel, who will give you further insights on the performance assessment. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Anish, for this information regarding the release of the portal for the revision 4. So good afternoon, everybody. My name is Annabelle Baudrier. I am the ARIS technical leader. Today, I will introduce you the simplified ARIS certification. Please, the next slide. So, like my colleague told you previously, now with revision 4, we have the possibility to apply for the simplified ARIS certification. So, what is a simplified ARIS certification? It's a new type of certification where we will notice will reduce the requirement regarding documentation. Now, we request only process ownership and process review for the 5 key processes. And then also we add some new type of maturity level, simplified, where you will see later on in the assessment sheet presentation. I will show you later on. And then also you will have a dedicated certificate linked to the simplified approach certification. So like my colleague said previously, we have two criteria to be eligible for the simplified IRI certification. The two criteria are the staff headcount and the turnover. So it means to belong to this simplified approach, you need to fulfill these two criteria. So, for example, for staff headcount, it's possible from SME who has from 0 to 85 staff headcount, including all business units, not just railway. And for the turnover, is starting, let's say, from below 2 million euros until 25 million euro maximum. Inside this table, also, you can notice we have different type of category. It's because we wanted to give more flexibility as well regarding the requirement applicable. So we have the micro, small, and major category, with depending as well of the two criteria. So could we go to the next slide, please? To continue regarding this certification approach, we also have a dedicated table regarding the audit days. So this table is also based on the two criteria, so the staff headcount, the total one, and the turnover. So I will give you, for example, a company who has maybe 30 total headcount employees and want to apply for a certification audit. They will use the table, but to determine exactly the total of days, we need also to add to that the criteria linked to the turnover. So if this company has in total 30 employees, but at a turnover of 12 million euros, for example, we will they won't belong to the small category, but they will belong to the medium one, because we need to take into account the higher criteria, like Anish said previously. So at the end of the day, if we want to apply for a certification audit in this example, the total of day will be 7. So it's really important to don't forget to determine the audit day. You really need to take into account the total staff headcount, but also the turnover to find the correct category applicable. Maria already explained that as well. We have in the total days regarding those different type of audit, different activities. Based on the table we are talking about, we have some activity already included, and for other table not necessarily, but here we are in a normal situation regarding simplified certification. So for certification audit, the total days take into account the readiness review, the data review, the days to perform the audit, and the reporting. Regarding surveillance audit, we included in the total days the data review, the day to perform the audit, and the reporting. And then regarding the recertification audit total days, we included the data review, the day to perform the audit, and the reporting. It's really important to pay attention of that, because in the other case, when we'll have a dedicating type of audit, or if we want to apply some change, for example, move to simplify to full, it will be a bit different. Let me explain to you that actually in the next slide, please. Yes, so in this case, for example, a company who has a certification in the simplified approach and want to move to a full certification is possible, like we said previously, but you need before that to finalize the cycle. So the cycle is 3 years. During this cycle, it's possible to evolve between the different type of category. From micro to small, small to medium. That's why we have this different type of category, to give flexibility regarding the evolution of the company regarding these two criteria, and also regarding the RQMS. And then when you feel more comfortable and mature enough, and you would like to apply for a full certification, it's also possible. But in this case, you will need to apply the recertification audit days. So you can see in this table, I took the table for the full IRIS certification. You will use exactly the same days for recertification audit days in this case, but you need to add also the time regarding the readiness review, because normally in the normal table it is not included, the time for readiness review for recertification. But in this case we are changing type of certification, we impose to have a readiness review in addition of that. The readiness review can be half a day or a total day, because it's depending as well of your total staff head count. It is possible also an SME becoming more big, and as after the 3 years of certification, a number more important regarding the staff head count. So that's why it's possible between half a day or 1 day. All the information are available in the rules regarding the definition of the time for the readiness review. And also what we need also to pay attention is the difference between the full and the simplified table, because for the simplified, as I said previously, we use the total head count, but for the full certification we use the real head count. So as well, in the transition to move to another type of certification, you need to pay attention of the head count. If it is real or total, we need to take into account to determine the audit days for the certification. Next slide, please. So in also possible in another way from full to simplify to apply, but the only rules is to respect the 2 criteria we just present to you previously. So all the organization today who has a full certification would like to apply for Simplify is possible, but only if you finalize your cycle, and only if you are eligible to Simplify approach. So it will be it will be also the same type of audit day you will use. You will use the table of Simplify in this case, and it will be the recertification audit day you will use. And in addition of that, you need to add the readiness review, because it is not taken into account in this table. And here also the total head count need to be taken into account plus the turnover. So be careful, it's really important to pay attention of the criterias and the cycle when we want to apply for this type of certification, if we want to change to full to simplify, or to simplify to full. Next slide, please. Please, more information regarding the slide. Thank you. Here is an overview regarding the assessment item. Globally is the same for Simplify and Full. As you can notice, we have 4 types of item: open item, basic item, closed, and KO item. Open item is the one link, sorry, to the railway requirement. And it's important for you to have this overview, because for the Simplify certification, we add a maturity level Simplify, and you will find it also in the open item. So could you go to the next slide, please? Thank you. So in this slide, like I said, we introduce the Simplify maturity level. So Simplify as well, with a scoring 1.5, and it's only applicable for open item for the requirement linked to railway. Also for Simplify, like I said, you can have the basic item, close item, and KO item, but we won't change the scoring or the way to pass this different item. It's only for open item, the one linked to railway requirement. We add this possibility of maturity level of Simplify to give flexibility regarding the different type of category of the SME for the certification of Simplify. It will be only available in the assessment sheet for Simplify certification. For full certification, you won't see the Simplify maturity level. That's the big difference between the two. Otherwise, it's pretty the same regarding the enabled assessment. To finish my part, like my colleague said as well, to highlight it and to do a transition to my colleague Jessica regarding QPL, simplified approach are not eligible for quality performance level. So that's why as well, the final scoring of simplified will be focused only on the enable and not the other category of performance assessment that is possible for full certification. So thank you for your attention, and now I will give the floor to my charming colleague Jessica.
Thank you, Anne-Emmanuel, for this interesting information. Good afternoon or good evening, everyone. My name is Jessica Seijo, and my role is Iris Development Manager. Then now we are going to enter in the last chapter of today related to QPLs, quality performance levels, okay? So the first question we ask ourselves is, what does apply to QPLs? What is the right and accurate and what is not? Let's start with what should not. It's an input for the audit. Absolutely not. The target quality performance level will be shared with the auditor. It's not relevant for the auditor to know this information in advance by the company. It will help adjust the audit plan to focus on the areas in which it's necessary to increase the scoring. Obviously, the audit team knows the QPL reached in the previous year, but the company's objective to achieve a higher QPL, silver or gold, won't condition the audit plan defined, taking into account other inputs, other important inputs like internal and external context, claims, findings from the previous year. And the last one, meeting the score is enough to reach level bronze, silver, and gold. There are other requirements for each level to meet. Therefore, it's not enough to achieve the scores by level. And now, let's go with what does apply. Quality performance level is an output. It is the recognition after to show the expected performance for the corresponding level. It's essential that the audit team can verify for bronze, demonstrating that it's capable, transparency for silver, and top performing in the gold level. So please, the next slide. Okay, thank you. One of the new features of rev.04 is the evolution in customer perception pillar. This evolution came from the experience and lesson learned by the industry, auditors, and operators who worked together on rev.04. In this slide, please see the customer perception items in rev.3 and those in rev.4. In rev.3, you can see the ISO 9001 items emphasized in red, which is, in rev.4, all ISO 9001 items are basic items, as Anne-Emmanuel already said and explained very well, and therefore without maturity levels linked. And regarding the main areas of the QPL in rev.4 are linked to communication with the customer, very important, chain control, and customer satisfaction, with focus on claims management. It's indeed a challenge for companies at silver and gold levels, but after our internal analysis, we see that companies with a consistent RQNS in the three pillars won't have any problem to keep and meeting the qualified and optimized maturity levels. And as you already know, the global calculation of the customer perception is made up of 10 items related to customer perception and evaluation of the three mandatory performance indicators or key performance indicator if the company consider it. Thus, the result of the customer perception pillar will be obtained. And please, we move on the next slide, the last slide. Okay, and in the last slide, table 18 of the rules, which is already becoming familiar to us. What are the evolution compared to rev.3? We have the full approach with a new level, IRIS 35, for which QPL is not issued, as Ana Manuel explained before, and the simplified approach, for which QPL will also not be issued. At the bronze level, a minimum score is established in enabler and performance evaluation, and will also be mandatory to send the data packet 60 days in advance. Otherwise, the level will automatically be downgraded to IRIS 35. Also, at the bronze level, in the customer perception pillar, yes means that the customer perception pillar will be audited, although there is no minimum score in this part. And as for the not applicable in IRIS 35 and simplified, it doesn't mean that performance evaluation and customer perception question don't apply. The question will be audited on enablers. But as we have already said, QPL is not issued here, and therefore there are specific requirements with this pillar. And just to remind, although it's not writing in the rules, but it's very important, during a transfer audit, a higher QPL cannot be proposed for any level, and a maximum of 5% enable score increase is credible as per yearly improvement. And okay, very quickly, but this is all from me. Now we will move on to the last point with the questions and doubts. And Anis Bawa will take over the floor to continue with the session. You are on mute, sorry, Anis.
Thank you, Jessica. Just 3 things from my side before we go into the QA. I would like to thank all of the experts that took the time to present today. These are experts in their respective fields, so thank you very much. Secondly, I'm overwhelmed with how many questions all of you have raised, so this is absolutely brilliant. And thirdly, I will make a proposal. We will now start the question and answer session. And we will indeed go a little bit further than the intended end time, because we believe that providing you a dynamic and dialogue between us and you organizations to answer your questions is really valuable. So if you need to leave, you can, but we will record this whole webinar and upload it to the IRQB website and the YouTube, so you can also see the question and answer session afterwards. So where shall I start? So indeed, I just refreshed and I've received 53 questions. So, okay, I see 3 here that are linked to Ana Manuel, and I will paraphrase the 3 questions into one. The questions are related to the definition of the staff headcount and the turnover. What is the meaning of the turnover? Are you speaking about the site turnover? Is a site just part of a company? For the simplified assessment, shall we take the total staff of the company or only the staff in the railway? So I hope that's clear. That's a question regarding really about the turnover and staff headcount for the simplified approach. So Ana Manuel, the floor is yours.
Well, thank you, Anish. There are many questions indeed in one question, so I will try to reply to all, if I remember well. So the first one is the easy one. So for simplified certification, like I said, we use the total headcount, not the real headcount. The real headcount is for full certification. We use the total headcount. So it means, for example, if your organization has, I don't know, maybe 20 people in railway and maybe 30 people in automotive sector, we take the total. So we take the 50 people as reference for the total headcount, 20 and 30. Okay, so that's the example for the total and count. Then when we are talking about the turnover, we are talking about the turnover of the organization. We want to apply the certification who has an independent RQMS. We are not talking about all the turnover of each site belonging to one organization. We are talking about the main site who is applying for the certification and who has his own RQMS. So I hope I was clear regarding that. And like I said, it's important to take into account these two criteria to define in which category you belong and to check if you're eligible for the simplified approach. I think that's it. I don't know if I missed one question.
Thank you very much, Anna-Manuel. You will have some more questions later. Don't worry about it.
I'll give my place to other people to
Thank you so much. My pleasure. In fact, we don't have 49. We have 66 questions now. So indeed, we will try to consolidate in the next 15 minutes or so the questions. But what we do not answer will definitely feed the content of the next webinars. So rest assured, our goal here is to inform you on all of the changes and questions. So Maria, the question is for you. So let me set you live and put you on the screen, and you're welcome. I will ask the questions that I've highlighted for you, so I don't have to keep on changing the screen. The first one would be, and I have to read this word for word. In case rev.04 will be done next year and already certified in rev.3, do we need to fill in the company master data this year?
Okay, thank you, Anish. I think I understand the question. It's a company that is already certified in revision 3 and wants to know when do they need to fill in the master data, even if they are going for an audit next year. So in the end, now, as Anish was explaining, the portal is ready. You can update your master data whenever you want, but you need to consider anyways, if you do it now or you do it later, 90 days before the audit starts, you will need to reconfirm your master data to be sure that you have all the information required and that the audit time is calculated on the good master data and everything is up to date.
So then I will go, thank you, Maria. I go directly whilst you're already on the screen. I will read it word for word. If we already are certified and our product not change, we will fill describe products for rail sector. With that is written in our certificate. Is it right? So I hope that's clear, the question. Let me just translate it. So they are revision 3 certified. They do not change the scopes of certification. What will the new certificate look like?
Okay, yes. So, now you have the describe your products for rail sector in the master data, and it's still there because we still have some audits in revision 3 ongoing. But in the future, you will not longer have this customizable free text in the certificate, so you will not need it anymore. That will be the answer.
Perfect, Maria. You're not going to like it, but it's a very specific question, the next one.
Okay.
Audit in my company is supposed to be 21 to 25th of October 2024. This will be our third audit with the CB. As I understand, I have option to have it in rev.4. And will this be my transition audit as well?
Thank you, Anish. So, in fact, if I understand it well, we are talking about a company that is already in their third audit in the cycle. So it means certification audit, surveillance 2. So if they are in surveillance 2 and they are supposed to have this surveillance 2 between the 21st and the 25th of October 2024, if you remember the first slide that we shown about the timeline of IRIS revision 4, from the end of September of 2024 onwards, we will not be able to do any more surveillance audits in revision 3. So it means, yes, you can go for revision 4 at this moment of time. And yes, it will be your transition audit during a surveillance audit. So be careful because you need to take into consideration the table that we presented you with the transition audit days and in option 2, so in surveillance audit.
Thank you very much, Maria.
Thank you.
I think that's enough for now, and I will hand my baton on to Jessica, my colleague, and I will consolidate and ask all the questions that have been received on the QPL. So the first one is, I just need to find it. There's so many. The first one is, in the quality performance level for bronze, customer perception has to be yes. Please explain what yes means, because there's no percentage.
Thank you for your interesting question. Okay, in bronze, the 10 customer perception question will be audited within enablers, right? Yes is applicable. Now the questions are not duplicated. In rev.3, if you remember, the questions were in mini assessment sheet and in enablers, and now in rev.4, all customer perception questions are in the assessment sheet. Then there is no minimum score in this part for bronze, but these 10 customer perception questions will be audited in a normal way during the audit with the assessment sheet.
Thank you very much, Jessica. Like with Maria, I will keep you on the line and visible to everyone, because I see more questions regarding QPLs. One other question is, can we achieve gold level in transition phase?
Yes, during transition phase, it's possible to reach gold level, not during transfer audit. Okay, it's different. Transition audit is okay. Okay, it's a specific assessment where we audited the main important evolutions in rev.4, but in terms of the transfer of audit, it is if when the company changes the CV. Different thing, right?
Perfect. I have 2 or 3 more questions for you. Sorry about that. How long do we need silver in order to request gold?
Okay. In this aspect, we don't have any requirement, not limitation. If the company is ready and fulfill the requirements, you don't need to remain for a long time or for a specific number of the years in this level, in silver level.
And then the last question I see for you, the person says, probably I've missed it, but is it possible for a company to get gold QPL after recertification in new revision 4?
Yes, of course. No any limitation on that.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
You're
and
welcome.
I have some now questions for myself. Okay, so what I will do, I'm going to go because I am speaking the questions. I will also answer them directly in one go because it's easier for me. So I see the 66 questions. So there are absolutely quite a lot of questions regarding when the iris audit tool is coming out. And the answer is quite simple. We are waiting for some final elements regarding ISO, and once those are completed, we will, as soon as possible, launch the new audit tool. And once that is done, we will send a mass mailing to everyone that the new audit tool is available for purchase and installation. Joke, there's no installation because now it's a new audit tool, web application, where you just need to write on the website a few words and you will directly go into the audit tool. When this happens, we will set up company webinars. We will have the next IRQB quality monthly webinar also on those topics. So please keep an eye on your emails. Any day now, you will see soon a news when it's available to be purchased. I see also quite a lot of information, questions regarding about this webinar. Will it be recorded? Will we be able to provide the the PowerPoint. You find it very interesting and you would like to use this information. Yes. So within a few days, probably next week, at the beginning of next week, because we're on Friday today, you will see on the IRQB YouTube, social media, and LinkedIn page, you will see that the video will be uploaded. And of course, we will send an email to all the people that have been registered to this event, that they have been thanked for participating and that they can see the video. My questions are not finished yet. What is the weight limitation, the size limitation for the upload in the data package? I received like 12 questions about this. So you would have seen in the screenshot 2 megabytes. If this is not enough, quite simply, we will increase it. So as the need comes, we will increase it. For the time being, with our experience on, like, for example, the size of turtles and so on, we picked 2 megabytes around as a PDF. But if needed, we will, without further ado, increase the size. So please do not worry about that. So I will update. So the new question: I will update my data package. Do I have to upload the documents? What does it say? Bit by bit, or do I have to do it at the same time? So it's quite simple. Great question. You can upload one document and then go back. You can upload another document another time. You can upload another document 2 weeks later. But the date of the completion of uploading the data package that will be linked to Jessica's quality performance level, as she explained previously and today, will be taken the date that is the completion of the package. So when the last one is uploaded and when you have confirmed everything. Yes, so I've seen some questions about the company master data. Just to remind you, in the slides you will see when you receive the video, the top part that has the information regarding, and let me find the exact wording for you so you remember, that has the wording on the certification activities in the rail business cannot be selected by the organization. It's being translated by you from your previous activities. If you deem that, for example, you need and you are applicable for EPPS as well, no problem. Please send an email to the Info Iris mailbox. So I must admit, after 66 questions, there are still a few more left. We will review this massively and internally, and we will always feed the main topics of the questions in the next IRQB webinar, which was in fact what we did for this webinar. So on the next slide, we would like to, without further ado, thank you very much for the almost 300 people that still stayed till the very end about the next session that will commence on the 8th, Friday, the 8th of March, on a Friday. That will, of course, revolve about the IRIS certification revision 4 system. We will have topics about the IT, the rules, the tools, and all of the references. So please, without further ado, we would really appreciate your continued and excellent support on our social media. Thank you very much for participating, and we wish you a lovely day and a lovely evening and an absolutely brilliant weekend. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.